What the fudge are we celebrating, Raider Nation? Nothing. I'm throwing in the Raider flag. I'm fucking tired. I'm tired of this shit. I don't get it. You know what? Just because of yesterday's game, I went out and bought a bottle of rum. I mean, because I'm still a fucking pirate. So yo ho, Raiders. Like for me, we get drunk, we lose the game. We don't have much fun. We think we should win against the Panther, but we need rum. Yo ho, the Raiders suck again. What's up, Raider Nation? I know you tuned into this video for a fucking rant, just like every other YouTuber is doing nowadays. And I'm gonna give you one. But I'm going to try to be calm because I got blood pressure issues. I got stress issues. I got a lot of heart issues. I got Raider issues. And, what the hell just happened yesterday? Coming off of the game where I showed up in real life to watch the Ravens and the Raiders, and we pulled through like a champion from a 10-point deficit and beat a team that should have beaten us. And we showed heart, we showed pride, we showed poise, we showed excitement. We came together as a family. Minshew Mania freaking started. And Raider Nation was celebrating. Mikey Raider came home and was like, hell yeah, baby, the Raiders are back. Just 7 days later, the world has turned. The blood is boiling again. And well, fuck you, Raiders legacy. I don't mean that with the players. I just mean, like, it always seems to happen to us. You know? It just... There's always some sort of a headline, you know, after a big victory and our hopes get, you know, sent through the roof. And we do this to ourselves. I mean, let's admit it. We're in a toxic relationship. You know, we keep getting fucked by the Raiders. And guess what? We still pay their bills. You know. But I just don't know, you know, just the headlines, and I talked about it on my last video. Antonio Pierce didn't even know that Andy Dalton was going to be the starter. The next 2 days later, when they announced it, like on Wednesday, he had a press conference, and they asked him, "Do you know how you guys going to come at Andy Dalton?" He goes, "Andy Dalton, what's going on? I don't even know." I mean, wow, that's news to me. Well, guess what's news to you, Antonio Pierce? You fucking suck. I thought we hired a coach, a leader of men. I think we hired a fucking mouth. We hired the mouth from WWE or WWF, depending on what generation you lived in. We hired a fucking mouth. We hired a dude that smokes cigars, talks a lot of shit, drives Impalas, you know, declares bankruptcy with his wife. But doesn't coach the team. Doesn't know who the starting quarterback of the team you're facing is 2 days after it was announced. And he did a big issue after this game. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. You're going to want to stick around for that. He created more drama. But let's just look at the game. Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, got a fresh haircut. He was 3 or 4-0 against us throughout his career. But we got Marvin Harrison, the guy that drafted him or coached him and knew all his weaknesses. Remember how John Gruden knew all of Rich Gannon's weaknesses? And then when John Gruden was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Bill Callahan, his stooge, was still a part of the Raiders for the Super Bowl sabotage, remember how John Gruden told his team about all Rich Gannon's flaws and secrets? and where the ball was going to be thrown? Well, you think Marvin Lewis, I'm saying Marvin Harrison, forgive me. Marvin Lewis, Andy Dalton's coach, would have gave some of them secrets to Antonio Pierce. But then again, he didn't even let Antonio Pierce know that Andy Dalton was the starter after they had a meeting on Wednesday morning after Dalton was named the starter Monday morning. A little bit of miscommunication going on. A little bit of miscommunication. I have to take a lap. Got to keep my body moving because my brain is still like the Raiders' playoff chances. Still null and void. Andy Dalton drove down the field like he was a veteran all-pro, like he was the next Tom Brady. They were prepared for this game. Our defense gave up. Our defense was not prepared. I don't care if we got a good defense or a bad defense or not. It seems like after the big victory versus the Ravens, the Raiders players and the coaching staff were like, woohoo! We got a victory, baby. We're back. We got the Carolina Panthers. They suck. They got Bryce Young. They freaking suck. We gonna whoop their asses. They only won one game last year. This year, they might not even win 2 games. And if they doubled up their victories, then they're doing that much better. We don't care about the Panthers. We don't care about the Panthers. Oh, Andy Dalton's the starter? When did that happen? Oh, 3 days ago? Oh, yeah, I didn't know. I mean, he's a veteran, a good leader, but we got Marvin Lewis. It's okay. We got Marvin Lewis. He'll let us know some stuff. It's all good. All right, Raiders. We're going to have the best practice of our life this week. That was what was said. The Raiders had their best practice that week after the Ravens' victory before the Panthers. We had our best practice. All the media's like, yeah, Raiders are back, baby. We had our best practice. Okay. Jackson Powers Johnson, he's going to play. Max Crosby, even though he's injured with an ankle injury, he's going to play. Are they going to play well? Are they going to play often? Are they going to play hard? Those are questions that should have been answered on Saturday. Long story short, Gardner Minshew had no mania. If he did, he had bad mojo mania. I don't know what it was. The playbook was altered. Didn't come through. Did we prepare? I mean, you have to ask yourself, did we prepare? I think they took their foot off the gas, and they had no gas in the car. We beat the Ravens. All our gas was expended, and they didn't refill up this week. So our fucking Raiders team didn't refill up with anything. I don't need to talk about the game and what happened. There was 4th down decisions again. Seems to be a weekly habit with Antonio Pierce. There's 4th down decisions that he's making. And this week took the cake for me. I don't know if it's Antonio Pierce, Luke Getsy, or Gardner Minshew. But there was like a 3rd down and 12. And Gardner Minshew made a big run play and was like minus half a yard for the 1st down. So it was like 4th down and 1 basically. Then instead of calling a timeout or getting into the huddle, calling a play, knowing they're going to go for it on 4th, somebody made the decision to go for it right away. They didn't even huddle up. Minshew was tired from that 11-yard run he already did. And, we got Zeus White, who was supposed to establish the run game this week and didn't. And on 4th and half a yard, or 1, whatever you want to call it, they just ran up to the line, got in the quarterback sneak formation, and tried to sneak it with the skinniest motherfucker ever in Gardner Minshew, who's already tired from that big run play that he did to get 11 yards. And you expect him to get another big, tough yard in the Jalen Hurts fashion? when you didn't even prepare it? And if you wanted to establish the run, you should have gave it to Zeus or Madison, who have that type of knowledge to try to get 1 yard. Well, we'll talk about Zeus in a second. Madison got the touchdown for 1 yard earlier in the game. Why can't you give it to Madison to get us a first down? I don't know what play call that was. It's just stupidity. Huh? Well, we were trying to manage the clock. You know, the game was getting out of hand. You know, we had to rush it up there. Huh? I think we lost in the first quarter. And then what the fuck was going on with Zeus White? Huh? 10 runs for 34 yards? This was the game the Panthers could have been had. This was the game. We were supposed to break Zeus out of his damn Roman God Empire shell. But he's running like an idiot. He's running like Forrest Gump. What, are you an idiot or something? Are you stupid or something? I'm sorry, but Zeus, you might have bulked up this offseason and made yourself more powerful, but you're stupid. Watch his runs. He runs into the defenders. I know that's where the hole is, but when defenders take over that hole, you try to make a move and avoid them. It's simple philosophy of aerodynamics as a fucking running back. Okay? You don't run into the defenders. That's where the hole is according to game plan. I'm Zeus. We don't got a running back that can juke or do any moves. Huh? Is that Luke Getsy's system? Is that what they tell you? You run down the hole. Just run down that middle. Don't go anywhere else. Okay, Bob. I'm Zeus White. I don't know. It looks bad. It's our offensive line, Mikey Raider. Okay? It's all of the above. All of the above. Long story short, Raiders were not prepared for this game. They pre-came versus the Ravens, and they came, and they had no Gatorade after the fact to recharge, to come again. I mean, if I'm paying a hooker to have sex, I'm coming 5 times. I'm getting my fucking money's worth. Get some Gatorade, some lube, recharge. Shut up, sit right there. Coming again, hold on. All right, spread, baby. We're in the number 15 because it's a hostile environment out there in Raider Nation again every year. And I gotta be honest with you all, we are the most critical fan base. We are the most weekly upset fan base. We are the most toxic fan base. Let's be honest, we are, especially on Twitter or X. We love each other like family. We'll feed each other carne asada. We'll give each other hugs. But we will do some online fighting. We will do some in-person fighting. And we will fight the coaches and the players and the staff if they don't get us victories. I mean, it's kind of scary when you think about it. But I love you, motherfuckers. I'm actually proud that we're so fucking critical of our team. I don't look at other teams, but I don't know how critical they are. You guys yell at me whenever I talk shit about Antonio Pierce in the offseason. Whenever I have something to say about him or his divorce or whatever. 1980 year bitch, that's Antonio Pierce. He's bringing back our swag. That's Antonio Pierce. He's bringing back our swag. I'm going to have to rethink that shit and that answer. This entire offseason, after he got hired, that motherfucker Antonio Pierce, I love him. I still love him. I like all he's about. I love what he's trying to do. But there's a difference between doing the job and faking the job. Okay? There's a difference between doing the job and faking the job. We won some games last year based off of momentum, and we had a new coach. Any other coach that might have became the interim coach with Josh McDaniels might have won a few games as well, because Josh McDaniels was such toxicity in that environment that anybody could have probably been the coach. Now it's a regular season. Now we've had months and months and months of Antonio Pierce. We've had months and months and months of him hiring other people to help him. We've had a month or two of him making fourth down calls that I don't understand. They hired Luke Getsy, one of the worst coaches in Chicago. They didn't draft a quarterback. I mean, all of these are business decisions. Okay? You guys see where I'm going there? See where I'm going there? And I'm wearing number 15 because it's a hostile environment in the Raiders organization this week. It's going to be a tough week. 15 is also Gardner Minshew. And he was replaced in the game at the end of the game. Antonio Pierce or somebody made business decisions. And I beg to differ. I don't care, Gardner, if you believe in Gardner this entire season, if you believe in Aiden O'Connell, whatever camp you were on, let's be honest, whatever camp you were on. Oh, and by the way, congratulations to the Derek Carr haters. He sucked this past week as well. Okay. Whatever camp you were on, I don't care. But he was named our starting quarterback by Antonio Pierce in business decisions. A little bit too early for my knowledge. They pre-came in that instance as well. The Raiders seem to be doing a lot of pre-coming this season. But the game was out of hand. I don't remember the score, 30-0, 30-7, whatever it was. Game wasn't even competitive. Then all of a sudden, Aiden O'Connell comes in the game. Raider Nation rejoice. Yeah, he's better than Gardner. And then he comes in and throws a garbage time touchdown. And Raider Nation is cheering. Now they're calling for Gardner Minshew's head. But let's just talk about the business decision from Antonio Pierce. Okay? Please bear with me. Let's talk about the business decision of Antonio Pierce for a split second. He named Gardner the starter because he believed in him. Now, at the first sign of struggle, he replaced him. Well, he didn't replace him because of that, Mikey. If the game was out of hand, you know, they didn't want their starters to get injured, so they put in Aiden O'Connell just to get some reps. Think about this from a semi-intelligent perspective. They did this to Bryce Young last year. They pulled him out of games, put him back in, stuff like that. It ruined his head. He ended up being released or benched the other day. Now the Raiders are doing it. It doesn't matter. Gardner's going to be the starter next week. That's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying. Antonio Pierce is already waffling. Awful waffling. He's already waffling. And it's in his mind that he replaced Gardner with AOC in a game that was already lost, and AOC got a touchdown. Some of the fans are cheering for AOC now. So that voice just started from beneath the depths of hell. AOC, AOC. If you believe in your guys that you put as the starter, no matter how bad they're playing, leave them in the fucking game to finish that game. Maybe not Diva Devante Adams. We'll talk about him in a minute. But you leave him in the game to create chemistry, to finish the game, and to feel that feeling that you were losing. To try to create chemistry with Trey Tucker against the Panthers' second string defense. You leave Gardner in that game. He apparently is an emotional quarterback that doesn't know what's going on in the world. Yeah, man, I'm a surfer dude. Yeah. That was a bad mistake. That was a bad mistake. That could ruin the team chemistry moving forward. People think it might help it because some of the Raider players, we believe they were on the Aiden O'Connell train. That being said, based off of last week, he has a bad week, and you pull him, I don't care the optics, whether it was because the game was over, they wanted to get AOC some reps, they didn't want to get him injured. Like, huh? Is he that valuable that you're afraid to not get him injured? I mean, seriously, maybe Devante Adams, maybe Max Crosby. But Gardner Minshew? Leave that motherfucker in. You won't get sacked 10 more fucking times. You're going to figure out this playbook and learn how to throw the ball in the fourth quarter to Trey Tucker or whoever else is in there. It's a bad decision. Ridiculous. It's only going to hold weight and carry weight moving forward. This topic will come up again and again. Anytime Gardner's messing up in the game, Antonio Pierce is going to start thinking about replacing him. He's going to hear the crowd in his head or that he already replaced Gardner, so it's not going to be a big controversy. It's going to happen again. That's not a way to build a team. You go through the highs and the lows together. You let everybody play it out. When you get bruised, you rub it out. You go back in there, you rub it out, and you go back in there. We got some fucking divas on this team. We got people making really bad business decisions. Now, let's talk about Gardner Minshew real quickly. His press conference, he just said nothing. He came on stage, they asked him one question, and he said, yeah, we got to play better. And they said something else, and he goes, all right, thank you. Huh? But let's talk about the Antonio Pierce press conference. That's what you're all here to waiting for. All right. Antonio Pierce is an emotional coach. He appears to be a mouth for the organization. And he pulled a huge action. That's right. I don't remember the exact quote, but here it goes. If you haven't seen it, go check out Antonio Pierce's post-game press conference. He said something like, no, it's not the team, it's the players. But as the game was going along, we had some individuals that made business decisions. So moving forward, we're going to make business decisions as well. What did that mean? What business decisions and what individuals made those business decisions? Could he be talking about the staff, Tom Telesco, or somebody like that told him to take out Gardner? I don't know. But I'm tired of these cryptic messages from Raiders people. Now, Antonio Pierce, to what people see in that statement, he's calling out people. He's saying they made business decisions. Well, I've been talking about Devante Adams all season about making business decisions. He doesn't want to get injured. He doesn't want to go across the middle. He doesn't want the, what do they call it, hospital balls and stuff like that. Plus, he possibly wants to go to another team, even though he's lying about it publicly. Whatever that situation is, that's interesting. A lot of people are going to, when Antonio Pierce said individuals made business decisions, they're going to look toward him. Oh, did he play when they put in Aiden O'Connell? Did he play in the game? Or did he keep himself out? I don't know. We can talk about that in a second. Is he talking about Gardner Minshew not trying to get injured? Again, it's cryptic. I don't understand it. There's a lot of variables that go into that statement. And we'll talk about who the players might be in the situations that occur from that. We're going to think about that intelligently in a minute. But why would Antonio Pierce say that? You're a head coach. You're a leader of these men. Why in week 3, after a horrific loss that you got out coached, you got out schemed, you got out everything? Why would you start throwing people under the bus but using the word individuals? Take accountability. Take accountability. He blamed the scheme. He blamed other things, basically throwing Luke Getsy under the bus, which is okay, but it's not as a head coach. Do that shit in-house. There was a meme picture from last week, And I saw it live where he stood in front of Luke Getchie after some play calls early in the game, like the third quarter, and he gave him the mad dog. And he saw that meme online. He knows what's up. So this week he can openly blame the scheme and technically throw Luke Getchie under the bus. So the sheep of Raider Nation, the ones that are sheep, they go, yeah, it's Luke Getchie. It's Luke Getchie. It's the scheme. It's not Antonio. It's not Antonio, the leader of the men. It's Luke Getchie. It could be all of the above. I get that. But Antonio Pierce is the leader of all these people, and he helped make these business decisions to hire these fucking people. Why would you say that in week 3 and start throwing people under the bus? All your credibility is under the table for me now. I mean, now we're at a stalemate, Antonio Pierce, with me. I loved you. I love your swag. I love everything you're about. I love trying to bring the Raider Nation back. But when you did the divorce settlement through your wife, you were not taking accountability. You were trying to hide, not the divorce settlement, where he owed money to Toyota or Nissan, whatever that was called. I forget it, the bankruptcy. You did it under the veil of your wife because you're married. And you guys are a legal partnership, so you can't do it with your wife's name because you guys are a partnership. But still, you were trying to avoid taking the blame. But you got outed. Now you're placing blame in week 3? Man, your credibility is on the downward trend. You not even knowing Andy Dalton was the starter 2 days later after they announced it? With me. Now throwing people under the bus in week 3? Like you're the man? He also did an interview where they said, don't worry about our quarterback to other teams, worry about your quarterback. Then he did an interview where they talked about Harbaugh when he faced him with the Chargers, and they said, it was between you and Harbaugh to get the job for the Raiders. How do you feel that your name was in the same sentence or breath of his? Oh, it's great. He's a legend. But I'm the Raider coach now. Like, who got the job? That was basically I'm the man type of shit. He's got some sort of ego. He's not taking accountability. He's becoming a bitch. Okay? No apologies, no this and that. I mean, he says we got to do better, this and that. But when you're throwing people under the bus at the same time, yeah. Antonio Pierce, you don't want Mikey Raider after your ass. I was after Davante the last, month or so, and people were hating me for that. But guess what? It's all happening. And now a lot of Raider Nation is pissed off at Davante and calling him like the problem on the team as well. Now back to that individual's comment. A lot of people think it's Devante Adams because of all this drama. Davante wears t-shirts every fucking day during the game, during press conferences that have some sort of cryptic fucking message. Public villain. I think he wore a GOAT t-shirt this week before the game with the number 17. It had a GOAT and the number 17. I posted it on Twitter or X. Find me at Mikey Raider. It's a little bit egotistical, and you ain't the GOAT. You can't call yourself the GOAT. We can call you the GOAT. You can't call yourself the GOAT. If you do, if you wear the t-shirt calling yourself the GOAT, you're a little bit of an egomaniacal maniac that's believing your own hype and believing your own branding. I mean, you do got a Taco Bell in your fucking house. And you're on the Kay Adams show every week now, creating your brand show. All right. What individuals made business decisions? Let's talk about that real quickly before we get on out of here. There was a lot of drop balls by Devante Adams. If you're going to call yourself the GOAT, you got to catch those fucking balls. Okay? Now, that being said, Davante was asked about that individual's comment, and he was like, I don't know what you're referring to. Why would the reporters bring up that individual comment by Antonio Pierce to Davante Adams at the post-game interviews? Because even some of the press and the media that follow the Raiders in more detail than I do needed to ask him that question to create more drama or more infighting. But did they ask him the question because he's the individual Antonio Pierce is talking about? I don't know. Let's just quickly talk about it. There was a lot of plays by Devante Adams, especially one big play toward the end of the game where we were starting, or toward the second or third quarter, where we were trying to climb our way back into the game to get a first down. Gardner Minshew threw the ball to the inside toward the sidelines like Davante was going outside out of bounds. Now, going back to the TV show receiver, Davante does not like going down the middle of the field. How many balls has he dropped going across the middle this season? Quite a few. I think Davante wants to be a sideline receiver and out. He doesn't want hospital balls or anything anymore from this team. He's building his brand. He doesn't want to get injured, whatever. In my opinion, on that play, Davante went out of bounds when he was supposed to cut inside. That's why Gardner threw it. Oh, Gardner fucked up. Whatever you want to believe. But I believe Davante at many times does not want to go across the middle to the middle of the field. That's all I'm going to say about that. So was that the business decision that individuals were making to not go across the middle of the field on any play calls? I don't know. You be the judge. Max Crosby was also asked about that individual comment, and he was like, I don't know what that's referring to. Leave me alone. So who is this individual? He said it with an S. I think he said it with an S. He might have said it with an L. No S. There's a lot of rumors that it's Trayvon Moehrig. What happened with Trayvon? Did he pull himself out of the game? I don't know what happened. I also read a rumor, I don't know if it's true, that Trayvon Moehrig is going to be traded in the next couple days. So, if it is Trayvon Moehrig for whatever reason, and you guys let me know because I missed a few things. If it's Trayvon Moehrig that made business decisions, and Antonio Pierce is also going to make business decisions, he's not going to trade Davante right now. Antonio said they're going to start making business decisions as well. They're not going to trade Davante right now. So I don't think it's Davante. But if it's individuals, who knows? But if it's Trayvon Moehrig, and I read that rumor correct, that he's going to be traded, then something happened with Trayvon Moehrig, and he'll be traded in the next couple days or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. That's why I don't like the message. Some people said it's Jackson Powers Johnson that made business decisions. They wanted him to play the entire game, and I don't think he did. He was healthy enough to play, but he didn't play the whole game. I think he went in a couple of times, and then he was out of the game. Maybe that was what Antonio Pierce was talking about. I don't know. I'm really frustrated, but overall, I have to look at this team. Can I blame Davante for the drop passes and being a fucking diva recently? Is he doing a conspiracy to get traded? You guys can think about that one yourselves. That's a whole nother topic. We can go through the clues. And maybe he's starting a conspiracy. Because, again, if you start the narrative that Davante's a bad seed, Raider Nation is now believing that narrative. And so when it comes time and he is traded, it won't be a shock. Everybody will be happy that he's traded if he is. Because that narrative is started. And, I mean, let's be honest, Davante is not helping disassociate that narrative. He's not. And Antonio Pierce doing cryptic messages like, you know, we're going to start making business decisions. Individuals are making business decisions. It leaves us to speculate, is that Davante? So now we're going on that fuck Davante narrative even further. I don't know. And Davante's helping that narrative by wearing T-shirts that say Public Billion, GOAT, this and that. Again, it's like predetermining an outcome to the public and discerning it or showing it to the public before it happens. It's like pre-programming. So by the time it actually happens, we're like, we want it to happen. I don't know. It's some weird thoughts that go through my head. Guys, long story short, this video is 35 minutes long. I want to know your thoughts on the Raiders this season. Do we still have a chance in hell to win some games, to be better than 6.5 record? I'm just going to be honest, guys. I think we are as good as that 7 record at best. As the games go along, my thought is changing. And we seem to have controversy and turmoil every year after a news headline story, and I'm just freaking tired of it. I mean, let's be honest. We all thought the Raiders would beat the Chargers. We all thought the Raiders would beat the Panthers. We didn't have us beating the Ravens, but a lot of us had us 2-1 at this moment. With Cleveland coming in, and then Pittsburgh, and then Denver, who won a big game the other day. Cleveland is a decent team. They're fighting. I mean, the Panthers were supposed to be our victory. Supposed to be our victory. I mean, yeah, we'll go over records later. I'm just thoroughly frustrated. I don't want to spend any more money on the Raiders. I spent about $1,000 going to the game with the Raiders. Not at the game. I spent about $700 total going to the game, eating food, traveling, the travel, the tickets, then I had to get a hotel in Maryland. I spent $1,000, like a little more than $1,000 for that game. And I got a victory. I was able to see that, witness it. It was beautiful. If I could go to every game, they're probably going to win. So if you guys want to donate and help get me to travel to Vegas so the Raiders can win, let me know. Because I am the cure. Just saying that. I am the cure. All links down below if you feel like donating, supporting me, hitting that like button, buying tacos, whatever. I appreciate you. I love you. I am struggling in health and in financials and in life. But I'm going to be okay because I'm a Raider. But overall, looking at the bigger picture of this entire team, we are a 7-win team. We're going to have a lot of controversy this season. And I expect, and I hope I'm wrong. Believe me, Raider Nation, I hope I'm wrong. But if this goes like normal Raider seasons go, expect more controversy, more drama in the weeks ahead. And then the shit's really going to hit the fan. Then we're going to be talking more about Antonio Pierce being fired, Davante being traded, Gardner Minshew being replaced with Aiden O'Connell, and should they pick up Ryan Tannehill in free agency and say, fuck it? Should they get Bryce Young? Trade for Bryce Young right now? I don't think so. But still, I hope I'm wrong. I love you, Raider Nation. Try not to let the Raiders in the games affect you too much. I saw a couple of fans online announcing their departure. Well, we're not a fucking airport, so you don't have to announce your departure. I'm so tired of this Raider Nation. I can't do this. I can't do this. I ain't gonna lie, I've done it before in videos where I label it I quit. So who am I to speak? But still, it's a funny quote. We're not an airport. You don't need to announce your departures. But I understand your pain. Truly, I do. I love you, Raider Nation. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed, stay Raider. And I'll come to you guys with a Cleveland video in the next couple days after some of this drama hopefully reveals itself. Please let me know what individuals you think Antonio Pierce was talking about it. Should he have said anything? And overall, Antonio Pierce is starting to become the problem in my eyes. We didn't hire a leader of men. We hired a mouth that is learning on the go. So we should have expected that. I love you, Raider Nation. Better days ahead.